Okay, so where do we
All
land
right.
on saying fuck on live?
What?
That's how you're going to start this? We've restarted this podcast 2 times now, 3 times now. I'm not restarting it again.
It's completely
Doing
reasonable.
We'll fix it in
fantastic.
post. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
Fix it.
There's
absolutely.
no.
Fuck it, we'll
There's
do
no-
it live. We're live. We're lucky this isn't a live podcast. Some of our other contemporaries have live podcasts. All right, welcome everyone. I'm going to be the lead on this. Lead us through some introductions. This group here is, you might recognize us from Star Wars Destiny. That's most recently where all of us came from. A lot of us are loosely or more strongly affiliated with the old Artificery crew, and we'll probably still go with that naming going forward. There might be a sub name like Artificery Unlimited or Unleashed or Somewhat Limited or Artificery We're Ready to Be Heard Again.
I think artificially limited sounds really good.
Artificially limited?
Just completely break both things.
Completely break it. But we want to reuse our Artificery playmat, so we got to keep that in there.
I got to make sure I keep the domain renewed
I
too.
have jerseys.
Don't let us laugh.
I never got a jersey, so I'm hoping that this is successful enough for a second printing. Otherwise, I'm out.
Yes. Anyway, let's get started with introductions. I'll go first. My name is Nick Nelson, aka the Gandork. You'll probably the most well known in the community already of everyone here, but hopefully we'll all be well known in short order. You'll see me commonly in the community Discord. I'm a mod there, as well as I'm the rules guy or at this point, kind of self-appointed rules guy, but I was a rules guy for Star Wars Destiny for a long time. I had worked as a technical editor with Fantasy Flight Games on Star Wars Destiny for the last half of the game cycle, like sets 5 through the end of the game. Worked with Jeremy a lot on that. I'm not working with FFG for Star Wars Unlimited, just coming to this as a fan. But I'm still super interested in rules stuff, so you'll come and see me answering rules questions. And if I give a source as me or I've checked with someone, it's because I'm friends with people at FFG like Jeremy, and I'm not afraid to ask them questions if they come up with the community to try to get decent answers, and they'll talk to me. So
what's Jeremy's favorite ice cream color flavor? There we go, that one.
Jeremy's favorite I actually honestly don't know, but like knowing his personality, he's probably a vanilla guy. Come on, he's just vanilla.
Can we have that answer by next podcast?
I probably could find out, but I might annoy him.
I think we need to lead with that next
Yeah,
time.
we're going to ask hard-hitting questions here. Also,
what
for those of you at home who are watching, if you want to imagine this as a boy band, Nick is the brainy one.
The brainy one.
I'm the sensitive one.
Damn it, I was going to take that.
Too late.
No, Wyatt, you're
one.
I'm the more sensitive one.
Anyway, that's my introduction. I'm going to hand it over to Garrett to give his introduction.
I am Garrett, aka Zero
Garrett.
Look, writing a note card while everyone else writes an essay would be just like my wedding vows.
Nailed it.
I played Destiny like everyone else here. I still play X-Wing quite a lot. I also did the Artificery cast for Destiny for a few episodes. So if you recognize my voice, that's why.
I have been trying to remember what we called the podcast for so long now.
It was the Artificery cast.
That's a very uninspired name.
The fact that you don't know
did not
that
name it.
is hilarious and also very true to form.
I
Sean
was
will
the
not
one
be
that
the
did
brainy
all.
one.
I was the one that did all the editing of the podcast too. So goes to show.
Anyway, Wyatt, introduce yourself.
Hi, hello. My name is Wyatt. Kylo Spren is the name I used in Star Wars Destiny, and I use that name because a few of us.
He's Kylo's friend.
Northern. I'm not Kylo's friend. It's because I like Star Wars and I like Brandon Sanderson books, and I'm trying to attract those type of friends. It's really that simple. And it worked. I found exactly one person combining both of those things in the community, and it's Sean. And so here we are
And
trapped
he
with each
doesn't
other.
like you, so that's weird.
I know. Unrequited love is a hell of a thing. So anyway, my name is Wyatt. I used to work on a podcast called The Dice of Failure for Star Wars Destiny. That's how I met everyone here. I drove to tournaments, and coincidentally, I only played Set 5 through the end. So for as long as I was in the Star Wars Destiny scene, Nick the Gandork was just rules Jesus to me because I didn't know any better. I assumed he had been, was, and would be forever. And so here we are. And I loved Star Wars Destiny. It was the first time I ever fell hard for a card game. It found me right at that point of like crippling depression in my life, and became the thing I focused all my attention on. And then it left me too, and so I'm still mad, still hurt.
It's like everything
I,
in my life.
I don't particularly like FFG. I'm gonna be the sad bad one. I'll be like the emo one for this band. But yeah, I am reluctantly excited to be here because I do like most of the people that we'll be having on this podcast, and I also I like getting in the weeds on power level and cards, being right and having no one recognize it, and then taking my ball and going home. So this will be great.
Thanks. Sean, go ahead.
I feel like I've got the tiny note card to everybody else's essay. Yeah, so full disclosure, this is the second time we've done intros. We had to toss out the last ones because Wyatt did such a bad job.
I'm tired of taking the blame for my own mistakes.
But I would say I kind of like the title of this podcast being reluctantly excited. I will say that's where my feels are at right now. The first time we did intros, Garrett did a really good job of taking us through some of the FFG games he's played that have gone by the wayside ever since. My first FFG
shorthand for every game they've ever made.
Correct.
My first FFG was a game that I bought was StarCraft, the board game. And I don't know if they were planning on doing anything more. What?
I didn't know FFG made that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a $200 board game. I want to say that was like my third real paycheck out of college was buying that expensive board game. So I love that, and I followed that up with Forbidden Stars, which they like almost immediately lost the license to. So it really started me off on a good trajectory with FFG of playing games that get a decent amount of support and then sometimes fall by the wayside. But I definitely love Destiny. I guess I started Artificery. There's a story in that. We'll wait until episode 5 for a Artificery naming story. But my thing was, Nick was the rules guy. I guess I was kind of the events guy. I liked putting on events. So Artificery did a bunch of online tournaments. It started off as one-off tournaments. So like single day online play. It kind of progressed into like league formats. And we kind of got like enough clout, I guess, that we actually were able to put on like some pretty big events. So a couple of 100-person plus regionals. Hey, Nick.
Hey, other night.
And we also hosted the very last nationals, very last big event that Star Wars Destiny had, and that was a big blast. So doing all those events, like we traveled a lot. We needed places to stay. So these guys and others, we think the last thing that we did together clocked in at 26 people total, just became travel companions. So Airbnbs across this beautiful country, playing Star Wars Destiny and Battlestar Galactica, the board game, far too late into the night.
Some of us slept outside in like 30-degree weather.
Are you making that sound like it was you? Because that was me.
That was you.
Some of us only slept comfortably and remember it fondly.
Yep.
Yeah. I've spooned many of other Artificery member and remember it fondly.
I know how much each and every one of you snore.
Lots.
That's true.
Anyway, we started over again, and now our fifth member of this boy band,
the member of our frupple.
The member of Thruple. He's the the manly one with the beard. I don't know. But that is Nick, aka Tackster, Go ahead and reintroduce yourself, Nick.
We call him the
Yep.
Machismo.
I'm Nick,
Jeez.
other Nick, original Nick, better Nick, whatever you want to call me.
Extra spicy.
Extra spicy,
Extra
Nick.
spicy. I have the long beard, not the wide beard. You know.
I changed mine up too. Like you never know. Next week I'll have like mutton chops. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I go by Tackster. Star Wars Destiny was my first competitive game, and I probably only got into it because it's Star Wars, and I'm really excited to get into Unlimited because it's Star Wars, and all the friends that I made along the way, which was pretty great. Did a lot of tournaments. Did pretty well in the tournaments. Everybody knows me as Mr. Second Place because I could never win anything, but
First
did pretty
loser.
well. pretty good at getting up to the top, but failing at the end. So, yeah. Hopefully, I don't bomb out too much in this game.
Hey man, if you bomb out, I'll be right there waiting for you at the bottom of the ladder where I belong.
You can't blame bad rolls on this one.
No,
It's true.
Bad draws.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I still can, but you know,
Bad.
I'll
plays.
be bringing Destiny dice out and rolling them just to prove a point.
Let's see who starts with the initiative. My Greedo died. Here's my box of Greedo dice. What, that doesn't work? Anyway, that's our introductions. I don't know if we want to like talk about what our goals with this podcast is. Like, what are we trying to do? Or like maybe all of us have different goals that they want to do with this podcast.
Yeah, not necessarily like a big version of this, but I think in brief, why are you here?
Why am I
Yeah.
here?
I
Well,
I go
37
first?
years ago, a man
Sean,
and a woman.
Sean can go first.
raised my hand, damn it.
Go ahead,
Um,
Sean. You can go first.
I'm here to get hyped on the game. So I feel like I'm looking at least 3 people that are on the hype train so far. Wyatt, I don't know if you've if
Are
you're
you
on board
familiar
yet or
with
not.
the caboose?
Okay, you're on the hype caboose. So
Get all up on that.
my friends who I played a Star Wars CCG with are excited about this Star Wars CCG, and I trust their opinion when it comes to board and card games. So I'm honestly here to have you guys hype me up on this game. I won't say I'm here for you to teach me the rules. I read the rule book the other day, and I've played 2 games of Unlimited on Felt, so I am ready for.
I was gonna say playing enough board games with you. I know you reading the rules doesn't mean anything. So
Wouldn't do any good.
Roll.
good.
Hey Garrett, why are you here?
Yeah, Garrett, why are you here?
I have the podcast bug right now. I miss it. I used to do a wrestling podcast.
He doesn't care about the game. He just wanted a podcast. He's like, whatever you guys want to talk about.
I just want to talk.
That's
Make
partially
them off
true,
move.
but also I'm very excited for this game. I want to entertain. I want to get people excited, and I want to play a game with friends that I enjoy and talk about
Sweet.
it, so
Very
that I don't
sweet.
have to bother my wife by talking about this game endlessly.
Dirty stuff.
Good. Tack, why are you here? I was
Precursor.
gonna call you Tack. It's
I'm not.
easier.
I'm not really like. I mean, I like podcasting, but I'm not like in it for the glory or anything like that.
The glory
I'm
of
just here
podcast.
to just give my deeply flawed, deep analysis of everything.
How many
You know,
How many podcasts did you do with Knights of Ren on Destiny?
I mean, mostly weekly for like 2 years, so
Damn.
probably not 100, but probably close to that. So
It's like 97 more
pretty
podcasts than I've done.
it was a lot.
And it
was
shows.
fun.
It shows.
Here's video. I'm like so much more exposed here. So
I know.
Wyatt,
At least
why
you
are
got a
you
blurred
here?
background.
Why am I here?
Why is Wyatt here?
because 4 of his friends told him to be.
Look, at a certain point, and this is true for everything else that happened the moment FFG canceled this game, that I did like and started announcing other games that I wasn't sure about yet. I was worried that the people left behind wouldn't carry the torch of disappointment as well as I could, and that their opinions would be wrong. So I'm here to set the record straight, and also because I like these people, and I can be really easily convinced to wax poetic about card games. And there's a chance I could be wrong, and this game will be fun and worth playing, and biggest and I won't be hurt again.
Wyatt, you're totally stealing
Yeah,
the role that I
probably.
wanted for myself on this podcast, and now
Yeah,
I
but
have
you
to
said
find
you'd
a
be here
new
to be
role.
educated, so now I'm here. So get Shrek, son.
We have two downer rolls. Um,
You can just do the
I'm here to be
podcast
educated. You're here to be salty. All right, fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
one. Okay.
I guess the answer for myself, why am I here? I think I'm pretty safely saying I'm probably the most bought in from anybody else at this point. Probably the most knowledgeable, the most like completely on board at this point.
Whatever the
I don't know,
opposite of a caboose is, that's what he is.
yeah, like my motivation, even when I don't know, I have a long history. I've been playing card games since like I was 9 years old, and I picked up Magic the Gathering because like my cousins and like some younger uncles like got into it, and they're all a bunch of super nerds, and started playing with like Unlimited. And I remember like getting my first Shivan Dragon, and like my life has been card games ever since that point. I played the original Star Wars CCG, played Destiny like through the whole thing. I got in on tech editing Destiny, which was just, I've told that story before in various places, but like at the point that I played Destiny, I was already feeling like I was getting kind of old in the card gaming community. And when I started Destiny, like I had gone into it with like I didn't want to try to be a competitive player. I wanted to try to grow the community like whatever way I could, my local community, and then I like somehow fell into growing the national community. And I see myself taking that same role in Star Wars Unlimited. Like that's what I hope my goal to be. And like a podcast is a good way to help grow the community, and I help with rules to help grow the community, and I hope to judge events and do all those things. So that's why I'm here.
God damn it. If I can let my salt just go by the wayside for half a second. I also, this is warming the stupid fond memories of my heart, because for Destiny in our local scene, like, yeah, this game found me at the right place when I started playing Destiny, and like, I ended up being kind of the chief person to organize within our store scene. Like, the store owner was happy to do, like, have people there, but like, someone in the community had to push it forward, and I think that's true for everyone on this call. Everyone's talked about how they kind of organized, and so
Yeah.
each of us were, people that really loved the last game and wanted to succeed, and wanted to find friendship and community and like a sense of belonging. So that's probably also why I'm here. I'm here to be salty and sincere.
Salty.
I was the local organizer for Destiny, and I am already the local organizer for Unlimited. So
news today. So like we had a stream today, and actually I want to take a step back before talking about the news today and talk to at least Sean and Wyatt as the naysayers. Have you guys been like keeping attention or paying attention to like how often FFG has been communicating news about this game? Because like that is probably one of the key indicators that this ain't yo mama's FFG.
I'll let Sean answer this so I sound more informed after.
We've had weekly / bi-weekly like streams. We've had like articles. We've had 2-3 spoilers getting launched every week from FFG social media channels. Does anybody want to comment on that, Sean?
Yeah, so that's amazing. Anybody new to this scene who hasn't been like following how FFG has done things in the past? What did they usually have? It was like one stream a year. What was like? It was a state of play thing. It had like a flight.
It would do Gen Con thing, yeah.
It was like the flight report or something like that.
Flight report, yeah.
So they basically had like one stream a year. It did heavy lifting for every single product that they had. And they were managing a lot of products back then. So like your game probably got 5 minutes of limelight. And then in between that, maybe 2 or 3 news drops at the FFG site. And that was it. So
maybe a couple articles per set with some spoilers in it from FFG proper.
So this does seem like a very different FFG than the FFG of 2018-ish time period.
Yeah,
so we only have one competitive game now.
But I will say, Wyatt stole the salty role for me. I'm just the noob role apparently. So,
it doesn't matter.
But that I think that bodes really well. So I mean, they seem to understand that a little bit more communication is needed at the beginning of a game. Like I think everybody here but Wyatt, because Wyatt sucks. I was there before Destiny was released, and the hype that they were generating around it, like they kind of released a game that it almost seemed like they didn't believe in it, just because its own reception, I guess, at Gen Con and the pre-orders from stores were lukewarm. So that like early game support that they had, they just didn't really throw very much into it. But once the game got into the hands of players, it was red hot. Everybody who played Destiny wanted to buy more Destiny product, and there was not Destiny product to be had because FFG did not make it, and that
bought
was
like
really
all
rough.
6 boxes in my city. There was 6. I bought them all.
Yeah.
Nobody else could get it.
I was buying Destiny from off the backs of trucks in Canada to get my fix and to get to local people.
Sean bought so much illicit Destiny, he started becoming the guy who sold you illicit Destiny.
It's true. It's very
this
true.
is the similar to like Lorcana launching with product shortages.
Lorcana is
though Lorcana is significantly way bigger than Destiny ever was. I feel like out the rip.
Well, that's because it has the backing of a Disney product. Wait,
that's also Star Wars. I mean, I do think the collectors for Disney proper, like, there's just a lot more of them than even Star Wars. Like, I feel like, it's different. Like, Star Wars has a lot of fans, but Disney fans are even more and crazier.
Star Wars fans don't get toys or obsessively keep things in boxes like Sean. There's definitely no market there, so that's a good point.
So I guess before we end this point, like we're all old crotchety men that are kind of mad that our game Destiny, didn't have the run that we wanted it to. So we've spent years talking about the what ifs. And one of those big what ifs was, what if the lead up to the launch was better? What if the launch itself was better? So far, the lead up to this, it's kind of meeting those what if scenarios that we were talking about. So I'm hoping that, post launch, they kind of keep on that trajectory. If they do,
Discord is way bigger than I thought it would be for a game that only has 90 cards right now.
I mean, it's like consistently getting like new people every day. I don't know, like 10 a day. I bet that's like a good pace.
I think we're like the 15th podcast for this game.
Hell yeah, we're here in the first top 30. That's important.
To FFG's strategy on this one, I think. I've played FFG competitive games since I got Netrunner, so I don't want to give them praise if they don't deserve it. But their strategy for this, I think, has been really good so far. And I think it's also kind of showing the community probably a lot of Destiny. I know other podcasts are also former Destiny people. I think a lot of us miss it, and we want something that can fill that hole.
Yeah, so I think to answer that question, because I'm really good at that. No, I'm particularly versed in the not paying attention to this game, so I think I'm the right person to answer right now. Here's what I know about it. I know that it's a card game that's Star Wars based that doesn't use dice, because that's going to keep production cost way better. It's going to go off a booster pack model. That there's a lot more variety of rarity in terms of like foil and presentation of cards in boxes than the old one had. The Destiny was more limited, alternate arts were kind of like event merch or special stuff that wasn't typically in the package. So I'm excited about that, and so there's hopefully a better secondary market because that rarity normally creates chase, and that's important for collectors and also for local stores and resale. I also know that it's going to have at least a year's worth of product, and so that's a good thing. Specific card stuff, I really only know like the core concepts from like playing 1 or 2 test games, and I know it kind of keeps the pacing that Destiny had of the I go, you go, we both take an action, and then the next person takes an action model, which was part of the flow of the game that made Destiny so good and made you feel like you could respond and interact and participate, and that you were having a conversation and not just a monologue like I'm doing right now. So I think
as the salty noob, the having to choose cards in your hand to resource. I know you have like as few games as I do.
Yeah, no,
Has that been hard? That's so hard.
No, so I will say it's interesting that concept of like choosing a card to resource comes kind of at the same time that a bunch of other games that I've both seen in development and hitting the market are doing the same thing. So that type of decision making at least isn't super hard because it's kind of a motif right now. But I like it. I like the idea of like again energy or mana or whatever we're gonna call it built into
Resource. Just resource.
resource part of deck management. So anyway, the core structure seems sound. The product seems sound. I think if I was first encountering this and I had friends say, you really need to play this cool Star Wars card game, and I didn't have the baggage I was bringing in, I'd probably be genuinely excited, which is why I'm reluctantly excited. But like, I don't know a lot, and I'm very intentionally not getting deep into the weeds on card interactions and content until the set drops. I really want to come into it pretty excited with somewhat fresh eyes because that's how I first encountered Destiny, and that sense of discovery, not of like a couple cards at a time, but of like the whole playground to that point, was part of what made it so fun. And so I'm definitely looking forward to experiencing that with this. I know part of saying yes to this podcast means I'll know more.
I mean, this is a bad idea. Like, if you, like I'm going to do a podcast but not know anything about the game.
But let me be clear: disappointing my own goals by being here sits with the sad bad theme that I'm going for here. So don't worry, I'll be disappointed either way.
Well, let's segue into that to when the game releases or pre-release as it is, and look at the stuff that they talked about today. So I'm going to pop up my browser here, and oh god, that's way off center. Let me fix that. Okay. So first thing that they talked about today, and the first thing in their article today is the Spark of Rebellion pre-release box. So this MSRP's at $29.99. And right before the launch of the set, a week before, according to what they've said, you'll be able to take part in a pre-release event. I can't talk all of a sudden. Take a part in a pre-release event at your participating local game store. And this is a picture of the kit that they have for pre-release events. So you show up to the store, you pay your $30. You get this kit, which has 6 booster packs, which you're going to use for a sealed event, essentially. You're going to have 2 promo cards, which they showed it on the stream. It's another version of the Luke and Vader that we already got as Gen Con promos. And then there's the quick start rules. It got the damage counters, play, a deck building guide, a deck box. I think that's a sleeve. People have been asking like what the thing that looks like a sleeve with all the characters on it. I think it's a sleeve, but it doesn't say a sleeve in the instructions. But
it's probably the building guide, just the back half.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. I thought it would be cool if it had sleeves, but I have a feeling like for $29.99, like
A lot.
Sleeves will not be included.
It's a lot for $29.99 already. So
I'm assuming it's a cardboard deck box.
Yeah, I assume it's a cardboard deck box. I know Magic has done similar things to this with some of their pre-release events where like they release like a little kit thing instead of, just getting packs early or whatever it is. But thoughts on this? Let's go to Garrett. Like, what do you think? Like, you show up to your event and this is what they have for you for your $30. How you feel?
I mean, it's good. Like you're playing a sealed event with 6 packs, which is pretty on par with Magic because I played a lot of Magic too. You're getting a deck box, which you always need deck boxes when you play a card game. You get your damage counters, you're getting the rules. So I mean, I think for $30, $5 a pack, plus extras, it's not bad. It's
which we haven't got to that. We haven't got to the MSRP on the packs, but the MSRP on the pack spoiler is $4.99. So your 6 packs is the $30. It's like they're throwing in all this other stuff for free? ?
Yeah, I mean, deck boxes. I have a jillion deck boxes because I've played card games for 20 years. So my house is half deck boxes at this point.
I only have the ones that Destiny gave you for free, mostly. And then
I only play with Ultimate Guard deck boxes. They did not sponsor this podcast. But if you want to.
Move over, Ultimate Guard, because it's time to get on that Game Genix.
I know Game Genix stuff is so good. Which
Ones.
I have an article to talk about that coming up too.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts on the pre-release stuff? I'm really hyped for that. Like this is probably one of the best pre-release kits I've seen for any game, particularly a new game. Like they've said, like they need people to be able to show up that have nothing and be able to participate. And you can do that because you got your damage counters, you got a deck box, you got your instructions, you got everything you need. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
even know,
they're
like,
a great idea.
risk wise, store can buy a bunch of these because, like, at the end of the day, if you don't use them all, you can just sell the rest at the same
Yeah.
price as booster box prices.
Yeah, there's still
Right.
booster packs in them.
And it's a
You're not gonna
low
lose anything.
it's a low risk if you want to just try it, because like $30 if you're a card game player, $30 is
Yeah.
nothing. Like you're dropping that regularly.
So
I like that you're
my
not
wife and I,
overpaying. But go ahead.
yeah, my wife and I went Christmas shopping years and years ago, and we went to a board game store. I think it was Cloud Cap Games in Selwood. Great board game store if you're in Portland. And on that day, that was the Destiny pre-release event, and the manager running that store that day, he was joking about it, but like he would just like walk up to you and like shake a Destiny starter at you and be like, join the pre-release. And I was just like, dude, I'm just Christmas shopping. I'm here to buy Wingspan or something for in-laws. I don't know.
Little did Sean know.
And we left that board game store, and on the drive back, I looked over at my wife and was like, would you mind if I dropped you off at home? Because I'm going to go back to that pre-release event. So yeah, like having a compelling product for pre-release, it's great. It's going to get people excited to go. And if it's good enough, it'll get people to play that didn't even know that was happening on the day that they found out about it. Because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I think the sealed in this will be
bad though. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say the Destiny pre-release with the starter decks. That's like the worst way to experience
we have
Destiny.
starter decks. They're not even real decks, and that's it. I mean, like,
I think you got a deck. I think you got to choose a deck, and you got like 3 or 6 boosters.
Sure.
Was the Destiny pre-release? So like it was okay.
There's still no like actual what's it called, sealed or draft or anything like that.
No,
at that point either.
No, Destiny's biggest problem was always sealed events because they just weren't that fun. Like
No.
I loved 95% of Destiny, and that 5% was sealed because I
love sealed events actually. So
everybody,
we'll see. I'm hoping for
I
feel like everybody in my Destiny community wanted to play draft, and we tried, and some people I still think liked it, and I don't know how because it just wasn't that great. It's just
I did so many drafts. I was really good at it, but
I
did a lot.
power
I did a lot.
metagamers, and you never knew how to embrace the jank like the good players. So I'll say for this product, there's one thing I really like about it, and one thing I'm on the fence about. The thing I like is pure aesthetic. I miss Destiny's black and red phase. I showed up by the time there was all white boxes, and so that's my favorite color scheme. And I'm immediately hyped by the look of these boxes. So again, if you take away all my baggage with FFG and I look at this product, it's Star Wars and it's pretty, and I fucking want it.
just totally judging a game by its cover, like literally.
Yeah, which you're supposed to do. You are supposed to be wanting to play the game by its cover, and this cover does in fact work for me. The thing I'm a little on the fence about, generally speaking, I think that like a promo set should be a bit of a loss leader. And so right now, like the quick start rules, the damage counters, the deck building guide, the deck box, I can't decide how much that actually is value over just buying packs. I know you got utility, but like I ended up with a lot of extra like draft kits when I played Destiny because I also like to host those at home. And so that was a product that actually I chased to have extra copies to host and do more with. When I look at this, its cost isn't much better than just buying 6 packs. And I can't tell if its content is really that good because if we get into this game I'll end up with custom tokens anyway. So like I think it's good, but I almost wish and think the FFG probably could have made it a little bit cheaper and more attractive to lure people in. I'm not sure.
So is this
as good as it
is this a pre-release only product?
Yeah,
because it says pre-release on the box
for 1 week. Yes, it's the pre-release thing. It's not something you bring with you from there. It's like you open your 6 packs, you play one single sealed event with it, and then
that makes sense. I do like that for local stores. You guys are exactly right. There's no real like lost cost for the store if they get to have those packs.
Yeah, if the store buys too many, they're not out with some like really crappy product. They still have 6 packs in them for $30.
I mean, worst case scenario, you just open them up and put the packs on sale.
Open it up, put the packs on sale, set the stuff aside. If like, hey, Joe Schmo showed up for a draft and he doesn't have tokens or rules, here you go. Like you can still do that kind of thing.
If there's not one guaranteed legendary in every pack, I'm out.
I don't think that there's a guarantee of any amount of legendaries in any box either. Like there wasn't Destiny, so like I don't think we have.
Not that we know of yet. I don't know they've gone that far in like what the
They haven't
box-
told us. Maybe
No.
maybe there is some level of like
We know the odds of the rough odds of pulling them, but I don't
Aren't
think
the
they've
rough odds
said, like,
pretty similar to Magic?
They
Yes, I
are
mean-
exactly this.
I was going to
Pretty
say,
damn close.
if it's similar to Magic, then there should be at least some predictability for certain like thresholds you should see in a box or a crate, which is good.
like we'll probably see 5 or so legendaries a box.
Well,
Like that's my
all right.
guess.
We're gonna
Yes,
move
I
on.
know.
We'll get to the boxes in a sec, but let's talk about the 2-player starter to begin with. They introduced us to the 2-player starter, I think, on the stream a couple weeks ago, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was one a couple weeks before that, where they actually sat and played with the starters. But this is the 2-player Spark of Rebellion starter. MSRP we found out today was $34.99, which personally I think is a little high, considering it's all cards and tokens that people are already going to have from if they did a pre-release. But yeah, you get good things about this is that it comes with 2 pre-built 50-card decks that are going to be completely legal, tournament legal right out of the gate, which is something Destiny didn't do. You get the quick start rules, 2 paper playmats, 2 cardboard foldable deck boxes. This is obviously aimed at new players. Let's go with Sean. What are your thoughts on this?
It makes me so. Destiny had this like black and red thing that Wyatt was talking about to denote the first cycle of Destiny. Destiny did not get a 2-player starter pack until its 2nd or 3rd year.
It was
so
right
I
at
guess
the
at
start
least,
of the year, but yeah.
Yeah. So at least from a release perspective, it's really good to see them putting this out. I know Magic trades a lot on its 1v1 product that they sell. I've bought a lot of versus decks over the years with Magic. It's a really fun way to just dip your toes into a thing, play a little bit of Magic, and not go whole hog into it. So I'm excited to see this from that perspective. Destiny, like these decks are different though too, right? Like these are 50 card decks. Like what is the tournament?
50 card decks.
That is these
Yeah.
are 100% tournament legal. You can take them and play them in a tournament right out of the box.
And
So
they're
that was
not
something
bad.
that until like Destiny never had a pre-made product that was tournament legal.
Two-player
Tournament
game have full
viable
decks?
is no, Destiny never came out with a full 30 card deck. It was always like
I thought the
20
two-player
card
game
things.
might have been, or they might have been close.
You'd have to get 2-player starters to make them.
Well, yeah. Not only that, so the Destiny starters were $15 each.
Right.
So you got 2 of them for 30, but then you'd still need 2 more of them to have the full set, and then you get a bunch of extra crap you didn't necessarily want. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like for
And,
this,
as you
literally
tell me
get
more,
you get everything you need for 35.
I'm remembering the flaws. The veneer's washing off, and maybe no game is perfect, and this will be okay.
Well, I think so, Nick. I think you were in the same spot I was in a lot. You're running a local Destiny tournament. Some person walks in off the street. They're really interested. They're ready to jump in, and they ask, "What should they buy?" And there's nothing on the shelf for you to point at to say like, "Oh, dude, just go grab that thing. It's not the best deck in the world, but like, you can play it here." You could not do that with Destiny at all. But this is already a product where I can point at it and be like, "You can buy this and choose Luke or Vader and just like jump in with us and play, and we'll have good fun."
Yeah,
So,
I think the only
It's really
downside is
good.
that $35 price tag is still maybe a lot. Like there's no single
Versus
star.
30, it would have been 35 years ago. That's inflation, man. 30 to 30.
Well, I know. Like that's the hard part. Still, like same scenario. Someone comes into your store. Like Magic has at least single decks like that you can buy. This is I'm pointing out like you have to buy this 2-player starter that's 35 to be able to jump in. And like other people are like, oh, people don't have extra decks to borrow. Like sometimes people don't have extra decks to borrow, or people are already borrowing the extra decks. But I don't know. I think that's the only downside. I was hoping this would come in closer to 30. I'm not super upset that it's 35. I think it's a product that is going to make the collectors that are diving in more happy than maybe the more casual player. I don't know. Like it's like from the perspective of I know I'm going whole hog into this game, I love that unlike Destiny where I had to buy 4 $15 starters, I can buy one for 35. By the way, I didn't mention all the starter only cards come in a full play set, so you don't have to buy more than one. One of these will have
What is a
all
playset?
Unless you want three of.
three. Okay, so this game, a play set is 3 copies of a card.
Okay.
So there are
So-
starter only cards, but it comes with 3 copies of all the cards that are starter only.
So a deck may consist of like 16 3-ofs and then 1 2-of.
Correct. You got
Okay.
it. You're good at math. Nailed
Okay.
it.
I guess I just now thought of like the issue where like if you're trying to field multiple decks, it did always kind of feel good to have like double play sets of things just to be able to not have to switch things up. But
As someone who bought a
Yeah,
lot
right.
of starter decks, yes, that's true. And,
I mean, this is still cheaper than Destiny because you can buy 2 and get 2 play sets. Where Destiny, if you wanted 2 play sets, you were buying 8 at 15 bucks.
That sounds about right. So
you
one
wanted
thing I'll
more than
say,
2
just,
force throws?
just looking at
$120 in Destiny, still cheaper than the 70 here, or still more expensive. This is cheaper at 70 for 2.
Destiny is still cheaper to have collected overall, I think, than this is going to be. But
we'll see. Looking at this, I do love that there are 10 full playsets, so that's 30 cards out of the 100 that are unique to this product. 30 cards that are unique to this product, if they are playable and
what it
worth
is?
having
It's
in
30?
decks, is actually not a bad ratio for something like this, and makes this a product that's, like, if it's actually good to teach, and it brings me cards I can't get somewhere else that are worth playing, this is a reasonable price point for a product that will be used to both play casually and potentially competitively.
Yep. I'll
I
probably
guess
end
I'll
up
say
buying-
if somebody walks in off the street and is unwilling to spend $35 to jump into a CCG,
They were never playing the CCG.
yeah, I mean, I'm not here to shill for the absolute money pit that CCGs can turn into, but they do cost a little bit of money to jump into.
And I mean, I don't know if going forward we're gonna have a 2-player starter like this, later. It might be single decks like Magic does now, but I think it's the right call for the first set because you get 2 decks, so you try to recruit someone else to play with you.
I would hope that this works and that there's an annual release of 2 decks with new concepts each time.
Yeah, I'm
I will
fine
say
with that.
from the local game store owner perspective, they love having this 2-player product instead of single decks. Because the single deck problem runs into like everybody wants Vader, but not as many people want Luke. And then all of a sudden there's 30 Lukes on the shelf and no Vaders. And they just eat the cost of that product. That can't happen here. It's like you want Vader, you have to buy Luke. You get them both.
Any like multiple sets of things, it's just really hard to probably inventory what's the right ratio.
Yeah.
But if there's only the one set of double starters for the entire thing, then
Yep,
it makes
nothing to
the
worry. Like Magic runs into that
actual
issue all the time with like some of the
straightforward.
commander decks and stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
sell out of one and they'll have other crappy ones they can't move.
Yeah, it seems like they produce the exact same amount of all of their starters, but then the community figures out which one's the best and the other ones linger on the shelf.
Yep.
I'm trying to think about value of packs and CC, and I'm remembering that I think back when I bought Destiny product, I didn't have a mortgage, and so all of my perspective on this is probably completely out of whack because
Yep.
I have a
Destiny
lot of
was
Destiny
cheaper.
product because I didn't have a mortgage.
Destiny was $3 a pack.
I didn't have a mortgage or a child.
Yeah, $3 a pack.
I didn't have
But
a
you
child,
got
that was a big
dice,
one.
and so now we pay more and we don't get dice.
And it was
so
only
it's an
5
improvement.
cards. Yeah, Destiny was $3, but only 5 cards and a die.
Was it only 5 cards? Is that real?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
And then
3 commons, some
Destiny
uncommon or rare.
Destiny did have a problem is that there were no chase cards in the pack, which I think made the singles market a lot more expensive for the power cards because there was like no chases to bring the box values or bring the singles values down for more common things. One last mention before we move off the 2-player starter that I also think might have been a misstep. I think they should have put at least a booster pack in there if they could. Like Lorcana did that with their starter decks, and I think it's like that's the tie-in. Like if they're gonna put this in like big box like Target or whatever, which they probably will, like Lorcana's in Target, and Walmart or wherever. Like you need to give the whoever buys this that hit. Give them the booster pack. Here's your first taste for free. They don't have that. I think that's a miss too. I would have been fine if
when packaging up a product of cocaine, you want to have a little side hit of fentanyl in there just to get them on the good stuff.
This is marketing and manipulation 101.
Exactly. So if it was 35 with a booster pack, I'm all on board. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I would take that. Maybe they'll do it next time.
Yeah,
you have to
I'm also
booster packs because, like, man, like then you got to fight over like.
This is probably like way too in the weeds about like how product sales go, but not everything from the middleman perspective. I think Asmodee is like direct now, but like the Alliance games and whatnot out there, not every product has the exact same difference between like what a game store pays for it and when it gets sold to the customer. So I'm kind of curious, like if this starter deck is going to have the same margin as just the booster packs, or if it's going to be better or worse. A lot of times, what we saw with Destiny was like you would get these buy 6 of the 2-player deck, and we'll kick in this other thing on top of it, or we will kick in a bigger discount, and that's coming from like. I kind of ran a game store for Destiny, so I got to see like some of these weird things behind the scenes. Basically, just try to get product behind the counter so that when people walk in, they can see it to buy it.
Yeah, and I really do hope that they support local stores in the way they make their product this time stronger, and it looks like they are. Again, having more chase cards, like things that support the secondary market, not including dice, so that you're raising the cost of all shipping for every secondary player that wants to participate. So much of the lifeblood of a game, and it's stores hosting events is getting people that want to buy it, and also building that secondary market, and being a partner with the store owner, and this product already looks like it's ready to be a better partner, so that's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, the Spark of Rebellion booster packs. We saw the box art a month ago or so, but today we found out that there's been a lot of speculation. Was it going to be $4 a pack? Was it going to be $6 a pack like Lorcana? They came in right where I thought they would at $4.99 a pack, which, with inflation and everything, I thought that was perfectly fair. They are bigger packs, I think, than any of the other games on the market at 16. I don't even think Magic is 16 right now, even with all the tokens.
Even if you count for like lands and shit.
Yeah, I think Magic is at 14 or 15, so I think it's a pack over or a card over Magic. Magic is still at $4 a pack though, but Magic's they get the 15. Benefit of what's that?
Magic's 15.
Yeah, they're 15, but yeah, they're still at $3.99 a pack, which I think Magic just gets a little. They're the big dog, so they can undersell their product, I think, to some extent because they sell so much of it. But I think $4.99 seemed reasonable. This puts a booster box MSRP at $119. Just call it $120, $119.76. Tack, thoughts on booster packs? Booster box.
I'll take the analysis from like I had a license to sell FFG product for years.
FFG product for years.
The actual price of these, if FFG hasn't changed map policies, which is minimum advertised price, these would be $3.99 packs. If stores want to do that race to the bottom.
Oh, so, like the 20% discount thing that they can.
It's 20%. So while FFG might say $4.99, your local game store can say $3.99. They cannot say anything less than that. That is the minimum that they can advertise their pricing. So these are somewhere between $3.99 and $4.99 packs, just depending on how. It
means like Miniatures Market or all the like big online ones are probably going to be offering them closer to that usually.
Unless there's a shortage.
They usually do.
Fingers crossed.
Unless there's a shortage.
I really hope there's not a shortage, and I don't know how you do that. Like I want this marketing for this game to be good. I want this game to launch. I want it to get big, but I also don't want it to be short either because is just.
I cannot imagine they haven't been watching Lorcana and be like, "Oh no, we cannot have a shortage."
They experienced it firsthand with Destiny. They're seeing it with Lorcana. They have many hands on deck. I feel like at this point, I feel like almost all of FFG's resources are going to this game. I mean, maybe that's not true. It feels like most of them are.
They don't have many other games to support, so
It's yeah.
Just
I mean,
board
I know
games,
some
pretty much.
other relatively recent CCGs had that initial shortage thing that like really hurt. Like Flesh and Blood had a huge like first
It
and
did.
second set shortage that really helped like hurt adoption of the game. I'd probably be playing Flesh and Blood if it didn't cost an arm and a leg to get to the game early on.
Yeah.
Did they have a shortage issue with Keyforge? Like,
No,
it's
But
sold out. Like
Keyforge
but that
is
was like
weird.
people were trying to fish for packs too. Like people were buying way too much.
I never.
They-
had a
I know
shortage.
that was like a whale sale game,
the
but
nature of the
I know
game.
I know they ran out of Keyforge at like pretty
That's
early
its
on.
own
But
episode to
because
talk
of the
about.
nature of the game, somebody's gonna have a deck. You could like literally have someone hand you their shitter deck. Like I don't know. Like if you want to play the game, it was doable. But
Quick value question
everything
I
about
want to throw
Keyforge
out.
is weird.
So Destiny, remind me, was it 5 cards including the dice card, or 5 cards plus a dice
Yeah.
card for 6?
Including.
Yeah,
It was 5
included.
including.
And there were 36 packs in a box.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you used to get 180 cards and 36 dice in a Destiny booster box, and that was what, 90 MSRP. And so
104 or 114 MSRP.
I mean,
I
it
never
was
paid more than
3
90.
times 36.
3 times 36. Come on, math boy.
no, I was
Forgot.
it was 90 at our
Oh, wait,
store. That's
no.
what I remember. So anyway, that means that the new one, you're going to get 384 cards for $120, plus tax, which is pretty good actually. I mean, that's 200 more per booster box than you got from Destiny. So that's actually a much better acquisition rate for those that are looking to just get product and start sorting it and figuring out what they have.
So
value.
map this one out for me. My favorite way ever since I could afford a full box of Magic back when I was combining lawn mowing money with my cousin when we were like 14 was to buy a box of Magic and then for a weekend put decks together from that box and only that box and play games. Because you could get, it was a whole like 2 or 3 weekends worth of just entertainment out of that before they became part of like the rest of the collection. I would love to see the ability.
Thinking of just playing draft. Like I'm gonna like I'll buy one box, maybe a little bit more, but I want to buy like one box to start at least, maybe a whole case. Yeah, if I go crazy. But,
4 cases tops.
2
yeah,
cases.
you just
I
at
want
least
to
two
see, like,
cases so I get
Hero
you
and a
showcase card.
case.
But
Really committing. I will.
one palette.
Yeah,
I was going to say one
Hopefully
palette
a
easy.
big, speaking of other things that local game stores love, and Sean will probably love, I see a case of these being roughly the same size as like a single booster box of Destiny, which this matters to stores because they only have so much space to keep product. I mean,
And
it's
for online stores because it's cheap to ship.
yeah, Destiny boxes were
How big it
huge.
is. If you haven't seen it.
And the white ones were smaller. They used to be bigger when they started with the first stuff.
Yeah.
From
No,
like Awakening.
it's the other way around. The black ones were smaller at the very beginning because
Oh,
they were
really?
so small.
They
The
bent
product
it.
stuffed in bent.
Oh,
So
okay,
you'd
they
end
got
up
bigger.
opening bent cards
yeah,
for your brand new
yeah.
product. So again, I can't stress, people are going to pop packs of this and the cards are going to get just pristine, and that's a feeling that you didn't get early in Destiny. So congrats.
Yeah, the likelihood your local game store's stock room is probably slightly bigger than the bathroom that they have. So
Right.
if you don't see it out on the floor, they've got about a bathroom's worth of space to stock it on there. Destiny
And
took
board
up
games take up a
so
lot of
much shelf
space.
space. They took up so much shelf space. You could pack in thousands of more dollars of Magic in the shelf space that like a similar amount of Destiny would take up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back to
this
your
looks
point
about
about
the
the
selling
same
point.
size as Magic.
Like
Sean,
if you
go back
want,
to your
like
point where
you
you're
get these
saying-
stores and be like, can you buy this game and put it on your shelves? Like it's a selling point whether you're like, I have these giant Destiny boxes, or oh, you only need like this much space on your shelf to like have our game there so people can see it to buy it.
And like I said before, like when like these the distributors and like even the direct from the publisher, like they're trying to sell stuff to you as a board game store, they're usually doing like these promotional items of like buy 10, get this thing, buy, and we haven't gotten there yet, but like buy 6 booster boxes of Star Wars Unlimited and we will kick in a free organized play kit. And like free is kind of big when it comes to a local game store when those organized play kits can cost like $20 to $40. That's $20 or
we should talk about
$40
that.
that they're basically buying for free so that their customers have something to come and enjoy and play. Like
We should
to
talk about the
get.
organized play kit before we wrap up.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely got to talk about that.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the casual play kit. So they
We don't
announced
know
the various.
cost, right, to the store.
We do not know the cost. They did not share the costs for any of the OP stuff, so we don't know what the cost is to the store. But they talked about the casual play kit, and they've talked about like what they expect the weekly play to be participation based, not tournament based. Like if you show up and build decks, play with your friends, hang out and talk about the game, like you can get one of these packs. Supposedly is how they're marketing this to the stores. Um, it looks almost like a booster box, but these are 3-card packs for weekly play boosters. I believe they spoiled today that there's 20 different promo cards in the Spark of Rebellion ones, and each pack contains 1 rare and 2 commons, and that rarity is based off of like the promos, not like it doesn't correspond to the rarity in the set. So like, for example, they shared a Sabine Wren, one of the promos from the packs, and in the pack she's a rare, but she's only an uncommon in the set, but she's one of the
I would
rare
be
promos.
very surprised if there were legendaries though in these, just because like being able
Maybe
to
a
get your
one-of.
legendaries through
I don't know.
organized play would be pretty crazy.
There's got to be some.
Yeah, I think if they
Maybe
like
one
pick
of- they hinted that there's
one,
one really cool one, so
I don't know. They might not actually. No, I kind of agree with you. They might not touch legendaries because I think that would like crater the price of legendaries, and that's going to be like your top tier. Like
That-
you're maybe
yeah.
fine if you crater a rare, but I don't think you want to crater legendaries. They did say that in a kind of interesting thing to me that these packs do contain some of the starter only promos. So theoretically, you could get starter only promo play sets without actually having to buy a starter deck. Moving on to the other store support, they have the store showdown kits, which this is your more competitively slanted thing where it supports a 32 player store showdown event. I don't remember if they. Oh wait, no, they did show the takedown promo. This was the takedown promo. So it will have a promo that everyone gets.
and
I'm
then
not
a top 8
sure.
promo, I think.
Yeah, it comes with booster packs. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what all the parts were from this. But I know they had shown the takedown and the store showdown one. This was the alternate art takedown, which is also a new spoiler for today, but we don't need to necessarily talk about that for now. So just talking at least on, this is the OP support I expect. My one worry personally is that I hope they have some sort of store program that actually limits the OP kits a little bit, because one of the issues that Destiny had, and I was fine with it because my store supported it, but like the Destiny kits, you just bought them, and like my store would order like 40, not 40, they'd order like 20 of each, like enough that everybody that walked in would get every single promo, even the rare ones, in play sets, and then they still had a box left over of like all of them. They were basically worthless. It didn't feel like you were getting anything of any value. It was just kind of, it was cool for collectors to collect, but I think I would prefer if like you got one of these 3-card boosters, and if you got one of the rares, you could like trade it for something. Like,
Oh man,
the Destiny ones had no trade value.
I had the total
they're not
opposite
meant to be given out more
experience.
than once a week.
Really?
So.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had the total opposite experience. I think the game stores I started playing Destiny at, and like probably within by like 3 months into Destiny, I was running my local events. So like that first OP kit, every store maybe ordered 2. So those the big chase thing in the OP kits, if you got first place, you would get a token set. And every OP kit, I think for Destiny, was made for 2 events, 2 16-person events, I think is what it was. Yeah. So I guess 32 total. So there'd be 2 of those tokens in there. And were the first tokens resources?
They went through a few different resources, damage.
I think the first ones were resources, and like they were flip resources, and like everybody wanted them. And like they're in Portland, there was probably like 6 sets of them to fight over. So those were big like nerd bragging rights, and we never
fight.
Yeah, let the nerds fight. So when I took over, I think the biggest order I ever did for an OP kit was maybe 4, like with with legacies. I probably ordered 4. So I was like artificially limiting the amount of OP that was available in the region.
Only one.
Not on purpose. Not on purpose. I just was afraid of asking the board game store to order too much. I didn't want to waste their money.
If I remember right, the kits were like $5 in Destiny. Most of them,
They
like
were
$5 to $10 each.
But they went fast.
Like literally, like yeah.
This kit is meant for 8 people for 8 weeks. Like you get 1 pack a week for going, and each one would be so essentially 8 people for 8 weeks. So the longevity is supposed to be there. I mean, how many weeks are in 4 months? Like you really only like 16 weeks.
Yeah,
a little bit more. You know, like
17ish. But yeah, no, that like the kits for Destiny were like $5, and my store owner was like, I didn't even have to ask him. He's like, oh, every time it comes up, we got 10 players to play. I'm gonna buy 30 of them, and they would get shipped 30, and everybody would get a token set. Everybody would get all the rare. We would just have everything, and would be said like new players would come in and would be like, here's all of the promo kits for the past year. You can have all of them. We don't need them.
Were the only thing that kind of ended up being limited in ours, but like that's when it was a bigger crowd, and then it thinned out, and that wasn't the case. So
people
if there's no tokens in this, so I guess like you guys were speculating, is there going to be rares and legendaries in here to chase down? Because that I don't know. I find that stuff to be fun.
There's definitely rares, and
there should definitely be rares.
We don't even know if there's rares. They only showed an uncommon.
Oh, well, right. There is a rare slot.
There is a rare slot, but the card isn't necessarily a rare in the set. So Sabine is a rare promo, and she has the rare symbol in the packs, but she's only an uncommon in the real set packs. And that's the only card they shared, and then they share that there's going to be 20 of them for the first set.
I mean, I still think it's cool regardless, because they did this for X-Wing and for Destiny towards the end of Destiny, where you just come and play your 3 games, and you just get promo cards. So like people just came and played.
The hyperspace variant cards for the starters is separate from those booster packs, right? That's that's just also in the kit.
No, they're in the packs, I believe. Yes, yeah. It says it comes with a special 3-card blind pack of promos that are exclusive to weekly play, including some special alternate art cards and hyperspace variants of cards that normally can't have one, which the ones that can't have one are the starter cards because they're only available in starters.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Cool. This seems like a cool format.
20 is, yeah.
So the Friday Night Magic kind of set the expectations for people for like what they're going to get out from an organized play event. And your game store does math. So if you've got, 12 people coming, putting in $10 to play in an organized play event, some of that money goes to cover whatever the organized play kit is, usually straight at cost. A couple bucks are taken from every single player to cover just, butts and seats, and the rest of it goes into product. So that's where the booster packs come out from, like, 12 people came, so we're going to throw 18 booster packs into the prize pool for the end of the night. And, first player gets 6, then we'll divvy up the rest from everybody else, that sort of thing. This seems like to be like a really good organized play kit to support something like that.
And if your store is cool, they at least give the packs at cost for prize support. Some don't, but they should. Get butts and seats.
I mean, the surprise support is definitely like, I don't know if they're gonna release any kind of guides of like how stores should run tournaments or anything like that.
I think they said at least the OP kit will have some the regular OP kits aren't tournament based, so it's just like more.
Yeah. I know.
Like it has they mentioned something like they would have some sort of tracker card where they can track. Nick showed up this week. Check him off. Here's your pack for the week, kind of thing, to track who they've given packs to.
Yeah.
All right. That's all the news we've heard today. And we're sitting at about over an hour, so probably better wrap this up. Unless anybody really wants to talk about this Takedown promo. This the promo and the regular version was spoiled today. Faded in. This is a vigilance card, blue, as you might call it. It's an event, costs 4, single blue aspect, and it just defeats a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. Sean or Wyatt that know nothing about the game, do you want to weigh in? Is this good or not?
This is completely unbalanced based on what I know.
In which way?
So
I do love the
a
art.
removal card you can play on turn 3, round 3, right?
Round 3.
Yeah.
Also, for you guys don't know, but it does not have the stipulation that a lot of the removal cards we've seen. It does not exclude leaders. It does not say a non-leader unit. So you can defeat a leader if it has 5 or less remaining HP.
That seems good to me. Always keeping like board position in games like this is super strong. So not sacrificing one of your what are things called in this game that you control? Units? Okay. Yeah. Not sacrificing one of your G units to take out board control from your opponent. If you can just do it with a card out of hand, that's always really strong. And then use the things on board to go attack that base. So yeah, seems like a good card to me.
I mean, it's somewhat pricey.
I mean, it seems like a blue staple that's going to be better than Vanquish in a lot of places. So I expect every blue to have 3 of that.
Again, that means that I can spend 4 to do, potentially 5 directly to face for my opponent and end the game. So it's a blue card that still fits a red deck win. Is that correct?
It doesn't do damage. It defeats a unit that has 5 or less remaining HP.
It'll defeat their Sentinel if they have a Sentinel.
Sure, I'll take that.
All that salt has gone to Wyatt's brain.
Not only is that true, but I'm going to be real. I just educated myself on rarity and all the alt arts, and I don't even care if cards are good. I'm just about to whore myself out for the possibility of getting those sweet foils in hyperspace.
that didn't take long.
Showcase.
Oh, I just checked, and there are marks in my veins. Where do I pre-order? How much money do I need?
We've already convinced him. He's all in one podcast.
I can do more than Taxter. I can get 2 pallets. They call me Wyatt Forklift Spren over here. What do we got? Let's go.
Yeah, the number of chase cards in the packs is kind of insane to me. And they covered this, 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago.
I'll sell the ones I don't want. So
every pack has a foil slot that could be a foil of anything but the common bases, the token bases. So you can get anything in foil. And then they have a hyperspace variant, which is like a full art that can show up. That can be anything. It will not replace your rare or legendary. It'll replace an uncommon, so you can't legendary. But I think it can show up in any of the uncommon slots or common slots. I don't remember. I did really bad on researches. But anyway, that's another chase. And then the 1 per 12 boxes showcase variant. We're assuming all the leaders. I don't know if they verified that it's all the leaders can have the showcase variant, but they showed the Leia one. And it's 1 in 12 boxes to have. It's an alternate full art leader that's not the same as
with a special foil, with
a special foil, all the things. Yeah,
it's $1,000 card. At least that's how it's mapping out to be about.
Yeah, I mean it's looking like it'll be really up there, and I think I was just doing
about $100 at discounted value. It's going to be like 12 boxes is about $1,000 in that ballpark.
Yeah, but you're going to get up-teen number of hyperspace and other foils in there that are going to eat up part of that cost.
I guess it's true.
I mean, assuming perfect distribution, I think it's something like 3 legendaries a box, 16 hyperspaces a box, at least 1 hyperspace rare legendary a box, and then a foil hyperspace rare legendary every 2 boxes. So yeah, it's spicy.
We should bring on our friend Das to do some card cost analysis in the blind. He's good at it.
The very last thing I'll say about this rarity, and I'm suddenly on board with people talking about how FFG is doing a better job of presenting their product this time around. There is a carousel built into the UI on this page where I can scroll through the types of rarities, and there was never anything that fancy on a given page for
the Star Wars
Destiny.
website
So,
is very good.
My God, I feel like I'm living in the future, and it's a long, long time ago, and my wallet's empty again.
Nice. Amazing. Yeah, hopefully, and I think their goal, at least with all these chases, is that hopefully the singles market for the regular ones, regular treatments, will be way down. It's the Pokemon approach, if any of you are familiar with Pokemon, but they have a bajillion alt arts and variants and foils and secret rares that just get people open the packs just to chase those and then sell off the singles. Like, and it results in, like, if you want to buy like a top tier competitive Pokemon deck, like every single card, all singles off of like TCG Player, you spend like $40. That's getting everything you need for like a competitive deck. Like no other game comes close to that.
It's really nice to have whales open products so that the rest of the product is affordable for everybody else.
Right, I mean, yeah. I love that because I'm not going to chase these things. Like, if I get them,
I'll appreciate the ones
cool.
I have.
Yeah.
And I don't need to chase everything.
Yeah. Because as a reminder, since the start of the last Star Wars TCG, I'm a married man now and no longer on the singles market. So
you'll be on this singles market.
Excellent.
No, I'm pretty sure that with shared financing and being an adult, I won't be on this singles market.
Fair enough.
Remember, there's a mortgage, but I can open boxes and gamble. So let's go.
I mean, if you got a mortgage, have you heard of a second mortgage?
Well, look, you could pay off your mortgage if you get the card, like the
all I need
variants.
is 3 showcases, and I can make rent. This is gonna be great.
Like, hear me out. 12 boxes is cheaper than your mortgage.
Someone do the math. Is that true? That might be true.
If this is the same thing with Destiny's release, you and I are we're gonna meet up in Montreal. We're gonna rent a U-Haul truck. I assume they've got those in Canada, and we're just gonna load up on Unlimited and bring it back to the States and make a lot of people happy.
I think
probably
go wrong.
Way more expensive in Canada.
All right, guys, I'm really excited about this, except for the part where I'm salty and this is gonna fucking suck. So thanks, and this is great.
Just change your tune by the next time. You can be the.
All right.
I get to be salty next time.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Sign off. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but we'll be back next week and see if we can't polish this turd.
This format will get cleaner.
Bye.
Bye.